Maya visits Tommy's office. The secretary reveals Tommy has been gone for over 2 months and she hasn't been paid since. She decides to quit and gives Maya Tommy's home address. She also mentions Claire visited once but never managed to see him. Maya goes to Tommy's house. His wife says he's away and hasn't made contact. Meanwhile, Abby and Dan visit Alexander's workplace. Security tries to remove them, but Alexander intervenes. He gives them his apartment address and agrees to answer their questions there. Later, Abby meets Alexander. He's stunned to learn Claire was pregnant and denies killing her. He's shocked to discover he has a child. That night, Maya is awakened by Lily's crying. She retrieves a hidden Glock from her weapon stash, revealing she lied about not having another gun. The intruder turns out to be Shane, who found Lily crying and was comforting her. Maya's relieved but senses Shane silently judging her parenting. He suggests she see a therapist, but she insists she's fine. Shane updates her on Tommy, a former Marine who captained the yacht where Andrew died. Maya suspects Tommy was paid to cover up the truth behind Andrew's supposed suicide. Shane says Kearse appears clean. They discuss the possibility that Joe faked his death, which might explain the missing death certificate. Nicole urges Kearse to check into a hospital. Kearse and Marty review park surveillance footage and spot 2 motorcycles, just as Maya described. The bikes are traced to Phil, Abby's football coach. Phil is brought in for questioning. Phil claims his motorbike was stolen, even though it was used in a murder. He insists he has an alibi. Kearse brings up Phil's son PJ, who also uses the bike, and asks that he be brought in. Marty reviews CCTV and realizes Kearse lied about this car accident being caused by avoiding a cat. Kearse follows Phil, sees him get into a Burkett Company vehicle, and tells Marty he's trailing him without clearance, despite Marty's objections. Maya meets Eddie and the kids at the park. Abby asks about her mother's ex and the pregnancy. Maya and Eddie reconcile and apologize. Maya tells Eddie Corey begged Corey not to release the full recording to protect her, and believed exposing the Burketts could help Maya. She thanks Eddie, saying he's the only one she trusts to care for Lily if anything happens to her. She leaves Lily with him to investigate. Kearse follows Phil, sees him meet PJ at a school, but passes out before he can listen in. Marty finds him and helps. Kearse confesses to his blackouts, worrying Marty. Marty comes out as gay. Judith calls Maya and asks her to consider bringing Lily to the estate. Maya is ambushed by Dr. Wu, the therapist sent by Shane. She reluctantly opens up about hallucinations and nightmares, blaming herself for a military incident where civilians were accidentally killed. Wu suggests the hallucinations of Joe are actually flashbacks and advises her to forgive herself. Tommy's wife calls Maya in a panic. She found proof that Tommy was being paid by the Burketts. She hasn't heard from him in 6 weeks. Claire's children discover she registered for DNA testing. They log into the app to search for their half-brother. Eddie finds new evidence and storms off to confront Alexander. Maya confronts Judith about the payments to Tommy. Judith denies knowing him. Maya brings up Andrew, but Judith blames Andrew's drunkenness for his death. Maya accuses her of bribing Kearse. She denies it, saying Caroline is mentally ill and not credible. She claims the family only paid Tommy to protect their image. Meanwhile, Caroline watches silently through a window. Maya meets Corey in an arcade and asks for help finding Tommy. That night, Maya returns to Eddie's. The kids ask about their half-brother. Maya tells them about Claire's first pregnancy, unaware the half-brother is nearby. Kearse and Marty find evidence Eddie lied about his alibi. He was with another woman. Shane sneaks into Maya's neighborhood and plants a tracker on her car, triggering the alarm. Maya doesn't think much of it. The next morning, Eva calls Maya in a panic. Her ex hacked her baby monitor, and she fears the same could happen to Maya. Maya suspects someone planted Joe's footage in her camera. She calls Shane, but he finds no suspicious Wi-Fi activity. Kearse updates her on the case, but Maya is disappointed that the suspect was arrested and released. She says she can't identify her attacker and notices Kearse's hand trembling. Marty meets Molly and realizes Kearse hasn't told her about his blackouts. Abby signs up for DNA testing and gets a message, which she hides from Dan. She discovers her half-brother is Lewis, a young man working at their school. Lewis says he applied to be near Claire's kids. Claire had met him and enrolled him in a private school funded by the Burketts. Abby calls Maya, who is at Judith's. After the call, Maya sees Caroline and follows her into a hallway with family portraits. She spots Joe's school photo. Maya leaves Lily with Judith and drives to the school. She sneaks into the principal's office but gets caught. She threatens to pull funding through Judith and the principal agrees to talk. He reveals that in 1996, a student named Theo Mora died of alcohol poisoning during a hazing. Joe, Andrew, and Swain were involved. He believes Andrew killed himself out of guilt. Swain was also on the yacht when Andrew died. Kearse and Molly go to church to meet the wedding planner, but Kearse feels weak and leaves suddenly, confusing Molly. Kearse learns he has a degenerative neurological disease, possibly from alcohol abuse. He goes to a bridge and asks Nicole for help. Eddie visits Alexander, explains why he punched him, and encourages him to meet Lewis. Maya meets Theo's mother, who suspects the school covered up her son's death. Corey informs Maya that Tommy once rented a storage unit. They go to the facility. Corey reveals Claire had discovered Burkett Pharma was selling dangerous antibiotics. She was likely murdered to silence her. In the unit, they find Tommy's body stuffed in a freezer. Kearse is with Nicole when he gets the call and rushes to the scene. Maya lies she got an anonymous tip. When she tries to leave, Marty stops her, and she reflexively hits him. Her car is impounded, and Kearse sarcastically comments how dead bodies seem to follow her. Maya accuses him of taking Burkett money.
Instead of her home, Kearse takes her to his place and shows her financial records denying any bribes. He urges her to report him if she truly suspects him and to tell the truth if she's innocent. Maya picks up Lily and tells Eddie about Tommy. They suspect Claire's death is tied to it. Eddie looks into Swain's social media and sees a rehab facility in his photos. Kearse attends an AA meeting and admits he's afraid of dying. Nicole urges him to tell Molly the truth. He does, and she supports him. Caroline calls Maya, saying she saw Joe and has a message from him. The call cuts off. Maya calls back and hears only breathing. The next day, Eddie helps reunite the three siblings. Louis agrees to meet his father. Marty discovers Maya didn't go to the storage unit alone. Please arrest her. Maya insists she's innocent and was framed. She tells them about Corey and Claire's investigation into Burkett. Marty warns Kearse not to go easy on her and forbids him from driving. Shane picks up Maya and demands the truth. She stays silent but promises to tell him later. Shane reveals Swain's family covered up multiple DUI incidents. Maya confronts Judith asking for help finding Swain. She meets Swain, who reveals Joe killed Andrew. Swain says Joe forced Theo to drink himself to death as a hazing ritual. Andrew was consumed with guilt and planned to confess, so Joe killed him on the yacht. Swain admits he was too scared to speak up. Kearse finds Corey in the woods and Corey denies killing Tommy. He talks about Burkett's drugs. Kearse realizes the drug causes symptoms and Nicole's a hallucination of his late fiancé. He says goodbye to her and tries to move on.
Meanwhile, Shane calls Maya, warning her that the police have identified the gun used to kill both Claire and Joe as the same one he once helped Maya obtain. She tells him she will explain later. She destroys her SIM card, buys a burner phone and a hat, and calls Eddie, asking him to meet her. She says people are after her and that she needs to find out who killed Claire. They drive to Lily's school and Maya authorizes Eddie to pick her up later. She also asks him to switch cars for safety. The police get a lead on PJ and rush to catch him. PJ runs to a rooftop. Kearse, though unwell, follows and questions him about Joe's death. PJ admits he was in the park with a friend, Rambo, stealing bags and phones. Rambo saw who killed Joe and ran to PJ. They fled and PJ crashed his bike. His dad, Phil, told him to keep quiet. As Kearse talks to PJ, he starts to lose consciousness. PJ tries to help, but accidentally falls off the roof. He survives. Realizing he's unfit for duty, Kearse is suspended. Instead of going home, Kearse finds Rambo, threatens to oust him, and questions him about Joe's murder. Meanwhile, Maya tracks down Luke and Isabella and holds him at gunpoint. She discovers Joe's clothes among their belongings. They confess to faking a video using wedding footage and dressing Luca in Joe's clothes under Judith's orders. Judith believed Maya had killed Joe and wanted to manipulate her into exposing herself. Shane arrives demanding answers. Maya calmly admits that she indeed killed Joe. She explains that Joe killed Claire to stop her from exposing the Burketts and his past crimes, including the murders of Theo and Andrew, using Maya's gun. She had lured Joe to the park and confronted him. When he tried to shoot her, she killed him and staged it as a robbery. After confronting Luke and Isabella, Maya tells Shane to drop them near their home. She returns home and writes a letter to Lily. Back with the detectives, Rambo tells Kearse he saw Maya shoot Joe. Kearse calls Marty and asks him to track Maya's car, but she'd already swapped vehicles with Eddie. They find Eddie picking up Lily, who reveals that his car is a Crocker and is parked at Maya's house. Kearse races there and arrests Maya. She asks for a chance to tell the truth and proposes a plan to expose the Burketts. With Corey and Kearse's help, she sets up a hidden camera in Judith's house. When Judith, Neil, and Caroline arrive, Maya confronts them. She accuses Judith of trying to gaslight her and admits to killing Joe. She intentionally leaves her gun on the table. As tensions rise, Neil grabs the gun and shoots Maya, claiming they can say she threatened them. As Maya dies, she smiles. She had streamed the entire conversation. The Burketts are publicly exposed and face legal and financial ruin. Maya's death devastates Kearse. Corey explains that Maya had planned everything. She wanted justice and closure, and in her eyes, this was the only way. The story ends 18 years later. Kearse visits Lily, now a new mother, who's named her baby after Maya. Eddie raised her as Maya wished. Kearse survived his illness, and Shane remains part of Lily's life.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe and like for more videos like this.